right, good morning. Good morning. So we're going to start today by reading your Kentucky Bluegrass Award book, Noodle Magic. And I really like this book because it reminds me of a special story I have, and I'm going to tell you about it after we read this book. Yes, ma'am? Oh no, bless your heart. All right, so Noodle Magic. The emperor's birthday was coming and excitement filled the air. Every day, May watched Grandpa too make magic with his hands and a bit of dough. She loved the powdery flakes that hung in the air and freckled the morning light. Every evening, Grandpa slapped the dough on the table, kneaded it with his hands, and stretched it into coils. Everyone oohed and awed over Grandpa Two's noodles, even the moon goddess who brightened the night sky. "Can you make a jump rope from the noodles?" asked May. "Simple as a sunflower seed," said Grandpa. "How about a string for our kites?" a neighbor asked. "Easy as a sea breeze," said Grandpa. Late that night, as the moon goddess lit up the sky, May heard slap, knead, and stretch. The next morning, May and her friends played and jumped with strands of white, weedy dough. "If only I had your gift," May sighed. "I think you just might," said Grandpa. But May knew that no one could spin magic like Grandpa Two. One afternoon, May watched the sky filled with puffy pink creatures. "Can you catch clouds with noodles?" she asked. "Fast as a flying fish," said Grandpa. That night, as moonlight flooded the room, May watched Grandpa slap and knead and stretch. The next morning, they gathered streams of fluffy pink clouds just as the sun was rising. Your magic's the best," said May. "But it's time for you to learn," Grandpa said. On the day before the emperor's birthday, everyone was making something special. Everyone except for Grandpa Two. The villagers were puzzled. Noodles were needed on every table, especially long life noodles for the emperor. "This year, it's your turn to make noodle magic," Grandpa told May. May was terrified. She measured carefully, and together they slapped and kneaded and stretched. "The rest is up to you," Grandpa said. But as hard as she tried, May's noodles were as ordinary as a pot of white rice. She had to think of something quick. "Can you give me the magic?" she asked Grandpa. Grandpa stroked his beard. "Trust in yourself, May," he said. May doubted Grandpa. She had never made noodle magic before. The moon shone brightly into the workroom as May thought hard. "Can noodles reach the moon?" she asked. "That's as wishful as the wind," Grandpa laughed. "Whatever for?" "A gift for the moon goddess," said May. "I could ask her for magic in return." "You have all the magic you need," said Grandpa Two. That night, as Grandpa slept, May tried to slap and knead. Just before sunrise, Grandpa returned. "My hands are tired," said May. "My arms aren't strong enough. Can you help?" Grandpa nodded. So here they are. They're stretching it and kneading it and stretching it some more. Together they stretched and pulled until her dough reached the forest edge. May spun the dough into a huge ball of noodles and tossed it skyward. Faster and faster it spiraled into space. As it got close to the moon, she watched it shrink to the size of a wheel, then a pumpkin, and finally a tiny dot. May called out to the moon goddess, "The village needs noodles for the emperor's birthday. I need some of your magic." The moon goddess was delighted with the gift, though she knew May had to do this job herself. "Thank you, May," she said, "but remember, magic must come from within." May took a deep breath. She had to think of something. She closed her eyes tight and reached all remembered all that Grandpa too had shown her. With a tug-of-war twang, May yanked her end of the noodles. They stretched back and forth, up and down, and finally there was a snap. The sky rained noodles, small bow ties and pillows, large coils and springs. It was a meteor shower of dough. There was enough for everybody's celebration, including a magical long life strand for the emperor. May's noodles had turned to magic. It was inside her all along. From then on, the only sounds in May's workshop were slap, knead, and stretch. The end. So I told you at the beginning that this book reminded me of a special story. Well, a few years ago, my mom and my sister and I, we traveled to China, which is a really long, far away. We were on a plane for almost a whole day trying to get there. And when we got there, one of the places we went to, they made noodles just like May and her grandpa did. And they would start with little bitty pieces of dough. And we could watch them, and they would knead it. Does anybody know what it means to knead dough? It's where you squeeze it and you push on it, and they worked it with their hands, and they would knead it, and then they would roll it, and they would stretch it, and they would slap it, and they would keep stretching. And what started out as a little ball of dough eventually got stretched into really long pieces, longer than their arms could reach. And then once they got it stretched all the way out, they would cut it into little pieces of noodles. And they would cook them up, and they were really good. But I'd never seen noodles made like that before. Have any of you all seen noodles made like that before? No. Yeah, great. It's really neat. They start with a little piece of dough, and it becomes lots and lots of noodles. And then we get to eat them, which is the best part, right? All right, so this week we said was St. Patrick's Day. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. Did you all wear your green yesterday?
No, our teacher didn't say.
Oh, you forgot to wear green. That's
No,
okay.
our teacher didn't say.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it was St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to read this story now called The Leprechaun's Gold. And I want you to keep an eye out to see if you notice anything special in this book as we are reading it. We'll have to find out what you can see, okay? We'll see if there's anything special in here. So keep your eyes out on every page to make sure there's not anything special in here, okay? All right, so this one is called, like we said, The Leprechaun's Gold. Long ago, before even your great-great-grandfather was born, there lived in a small village in Ireland a man known to all as Old Pat. Old Pat was a harpist, and a good one at that. Many a wedding was made the merrier by Old Pat's harp. In the same village dwelled young Tom. Tom had learned his own harp playing from Pat's teaching. But now Tom thought himself a better harpist than Old Pat. He was much given to boasting and bragging and charging the villagers great amounts of silver for his skills. Old Pat was humble and willing to play his music for free for those he knew had not the means to pay. Foolish old man, scoffed young Tom. We use it as a gift if not to make you rich. Old Pat replied, I am rich in friends, and that is enough. It is to be supposed that life would have continued along its way for Old Pat and young Tom had they not seen the announcement. By royal order of the king, harping contest to choose the finest harpist in Ireland at the royal palace. All may enter. To be known as the best harpist in Ireland would be an honor indeed, said Old Pat. Don't waste your time, old man, sneered Tom. It's a young man like myself they'll be wanting. But Pat shook his head and gathered his few meager possessions for the journey. Aha, thought young Tom. If we travel together, he's sure to offer me a bit of his food. That would save me a penny or two. And so it was that on this night the two sat together by their fire of twigs. They were footsore and weary from walking the many miles toward the royal palace. As he listened to Pat practicing for the contest, a sudden thought flashed through young Tom's mind. I could lose to this ridiculous old man. So as old Pat turned his head for a second, the wicked boy quickly snapped a string of Pat's harp and pushed his own spare string deep inside his bag. I'm sorry for your trouble, he said to old Pat, but I have no string to lend to you, for I might need it myself. Old Pat sighed. He had no money to buy a new string. The harping contest was as good as lost. Then suddenly through the darkness came a cry, "Help!" The two men shivered, for they knew tales of tricks played on poor travelers by villain leprechauns. "Surely 'tis the little people that's after us," whispered young Tom. But as the voice rose to a wail, old Pat's kindness of heart proved stronger than his fear of leprechaun tricks. "We must find out who is in trouble," he cried to Tom. "Not I," declared young Tom. "I'll have nothing to do with it. I'll not take the risk of missing the contest." He turned his back to the voice and covered his ears. He's not very nice, is he? On shaking legs, old Pat walked toward the sound of the voice. In a clearing, he saw a tiny man with his foot down on a rabbit hole. "Help me, sir," cried the little man. "I took off my shoes to rest my feet, and the rabbit has taken hold of my big toe. Help me!" From deep in the burrow came the shrill laugh of a rabbit. "Let go, you rogue," the little man yelled down the hole. "I'll have you for dinner, you pesky bag of flea-ridden fur." "I'll soon fix that scoundrel," thought old Pat. He bent down and barked piercingly as a fox might in the night. The rabbit let out a scream of fright, and out popped the little man's toe. "Thank you," cried the leprechaun, for a leprechaun he was. "Come," said Pat, trying not to laugh, for a funnier sight he thought never to see. "I've not much to offer, but what I have you're welcome to share." Old Pat led the leprechaun back to the fire. "I see your fellow traveler has up and gone," said the leprechaun. A brave fellow indeed he proved to be, but I thank you kindly for your help. I'd like to repay you. "I'll be needing no payment," answered old Pat. He picked up his harp and began to play a soft tune to soothe the little man. "You play well," said the leprechaun, "but I'm thinking your harp is not in a good way." "I have a broken string," answered old Pat sadly. "I am on my way to the harping contest at the royal palace, but I'll not win now. I have no money to buy a new string." "Ah," declared the leprechaun sharply. "So it's the gold you'll be wanting." "No, indeed," cried old Pat, mighty alarmed. He knew terrible things happened to those who searched for crocks of leprechaun gold. "Ah, but yes, I think so," answered the leprechaun firmly. Suddenly, old Pat's eyes would not stop from closing. With a sigh, he fell asleep. The leprechaun blew a silvery note on his whistle. Out of the forest edge came a band of little men, each carrying a bag. "He wants the gold," said the leprechaun as he told the tale of old Pat. "You know what to do." The little men nodded solemnly as they clicked open their bags. When old Pat awakened the next morning, he looked around in fright, but the leprechaun was gone. "It's a lucky escape I've had," cried old Pat as he picked up his harp case and set off for the royal palace. As old Pat reached the courtyard, young Tom took the stage, looking mighty pleased and confident. He began to play a sweet tune, but as if bewitched, the strings on his harp began to break. One by one, they twanged and twitched and twirled in the air until all lay dangling. Young Tom gazed at his harp in horror, but then he knew. "Leprechauns," he muttered as he hung his head and shuffled from the stage. Now it was old Pat's turn. With sadness in his heart, the old man reached for his harp. Then his eyes widened, for there inside his bag lay a glittering golden harp. "The leprechaun's gold," gasped old Patch. He lifted the golden harp and began to play. He played the merriest music ever heard, so wonderful that the wind itself stopped to listen. A wild tune it was, which filled the people's hearts with joy and their lips with laughter. All right, keep looking to see if we notice anything special. As the magic seized their feet, the people began to dance. Soon the courtyard was filled with a dancing, singing, laughing crowd. The other harpists knew now that this was Pat's day and danced along with the people. Even young Tom, who had learned a hard lesson, found generosity growing in his heart. When the final note faded, the king rose from his throne and beckoned to Pat. "Old man," said the king, "the prize is yours. Never have I heard such music. From now on, you will play always for me and my people. You are awarded the title Royal Harpist of Ireland." From the nearby forest came the twinkling sound of a little leprechaun laughing. All right, so did anybody notice anything special in this book? Let's look back through the pages and see if we see. Do we see anything special?
Yes. Yes.
What is that?
A note.
A note. All right, so let's see what it says. I think it's a clue for maybe some gold. Let's see what it says. It says, "To get your next clue and start this hunt for real, find the books about cooking a meal." So we need to think. To find our next clue, we need to find books about cooking a meal. What type of books might be about cooking a meal? Yes, what do you think? What would those books be about? If they're about, what types of books might they be? They're about cooking a meal.
Maybe something that's gold. Like one of your book.
I don't know if we're going to find a gold book. What type of book do you think it might be?
A cookbook.
A cookbook. All right, so why don't you, and she can go with you, you all go look on the shelf. Do you know where the cookbooks are in the library? Over there. All right, why don't you two go together and see if you can find a clue on the shelf of the cookbook. Let's wait and see if we can find it. Did you find a clue?
Yeah.
All right, bring it back so we can see. All right, great job. Thank you so much. All right, this one says, green means go, and it's also your next spot. Find the shelf with the books that have a green dot. Do we know where to look for this one at? Okay. All right, how about you two can go and look up. Do you know where you're going? All right.
I see a blue.
Okay, it's all right. So go look on the shelf. You're going to have to look behind us. Go put this one back. All right, did you all find a clue? Did you find another shamrock? All right, let's see what this one says. It says, Mercy Watson is a pig that's so funny. Go to her shelf to find your next shamrock money. So, do we all know who Mercy Watson is? Yeah, this is what Mercy Watson looks like. So we need to go to her shelf. Now, is this going to be a chapter book or a picture book? A chapter book. And where are our chapter books? Over there. So we're going to go and look for the shelf that has Mercy Watson on it. All right, how about you two can go together? Where's the chapter books? Find it? All right.
Awesome.
Good job. All right, well, we got another clue. Let's see what it says. All right. Not Mercy Watson. Magazines are a good place to look. Find the shelf. Are you all right? Let's make sure we can hear a clue. Find the shelf behind the newest zoo book. Which magazines are the zoo books? Where do we find the magazines? Where do you think we find the magazines at? And do you know what a zoo book looks like? What does it have on it? Animals. All right, why don't you two go and find this magazine? That's a quick find, wasn't it? All right, thank you. All right. This one says, knock, knock is the sound that comes from this place. Find the shelf that will put a smile on your face. That one sounds kind of tricky. Knock, knock. What might that be talking about? Knock, knock. Knock, knock. What might that be talking about? All right, you in the yellow, what do you think?
A joke book.
Joke books. And where do you think we might find joke books at in our library?
Over there.
Do you think that they're going to be with the picture books?
Yeah.
No, probably not with the picture book. Probably not with the chapter book.
Magazine.
It's a book, not a magazine. Do you think you know where it's at? Where do you think it is? Let's
The joke books are over there.
over in the nonfiction section. Okay.
They're over there.
And it says, look for the shelf that will put a smile on your face. So we might see a smiley face shelf. All right. Now you two have already gone, right? Have you gone? No? Have you gone? Okay, so you two can go together. So we're going to go look for a shelf that'll put a smile on our face. Good job. You all found it. That was a quick find. All right, you can have a seat so we can see the next one.
Miss Lois gave me.
Oh, she helped you out. That's Lois is helpful, isn't she? In this place, you would not let out a moan. Instead, you would whisper in a phone. Oh, lots of us think we know where that one is. All right. You two haven't gone, have you? All right, you two go together and find our next one. Wonder how many clues You're all sitting on our bottom so you can see. You already read it? All right. So where did you find this one at?
Over the barrel by the
In the
whisper
Whisper
phones.
Phones. Great job. It says, this hunt is almost over. Please don't get bitter. Find a shelf with books about little critter. So here's a book about little critter. And this is written by Mercer Mayer, whose last name starts with an M. So are we going to look in the
M's.
Okay, we're gonna look in the M's, but what section? Are we gonna look in the picture books or the chapter?
Everybody.
In the everybody books. Okay, all right, let's pick two people that haven't gone yet. Let's see, how about you two? So you're gonna go to the M's in the picture books. Picture books are behind us over here.
It says, she asked if he could go play ball.
Is there another shelf that has an M on it? Good job, they found it. Now that last one said this hunt is almost over, so you think this is our last one?
No.
Let's see. All right, great job, thank you. This is really fun. This is really cool. Go to the cart that stores our Chromebook tool. So what is our Chromebook tool? What does our Chromebook cart look like? Do you know what it looks like? What does it look like right here?
Red and black.
Red and black. That's what the totes that you all take the Chromebooks back and forth to your class with. But what about the cart that we get the Chromebooks out of? Do you remember what it looks like? Or where might we find it at in the library? What area of the library might we find it in? It's the cart, not the totes that we take them back to our classrooms in. Do you know back here? Over in that section? All right, why don't you go and why don't you take boy beside you with you. You all go look and see if you can find the Chromebook.
Yeah.
Did you all find it? All right, great job. Thank
This is
you.
probably the last one.
This hunt is finally over. This hunt is finally through. Go look behind the poster of thing 2. Where's the poster of thing 2?
Oh, I know.
Now, it says this hunt is over, so we're probably going to find some treasure. So if you find it, you're going to bring it back over here so we can open it all together. We're not going to open it on our own, okay? So if you have not got to go find a clue yet, you get to get up and go together as a group. We're going to walk and go together as a group and go find it. If you haven't got to go, oh, we found a treasure chest. Let's see what we got. All right, before we're going to open it, everybody needs to be sitting on their bottom so we can all see at one time. Is everybody listening and looking? Sit on your bottom. Sit all the way down your bottom. It's on. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh my goodness. Look, I think a leprechaun has been here.
I saw those over there on the floor.
Oh, yes. Oh, I think he was leaving us some clues, wasn't he? Left some behind. All right. Look what he has left us. Oh my goodness. Look. Bookmarks. We've got Dr. Seuss and cats and all different kinds of bookmarks in here. And each one of you is going to get to pick one. When you check out, after you check out your book today, you're going to get to pick out your favorite, just one, your favorite one as a treasure from our leprechaun that left us our clues. Yeah, we'll put it back over by the checkout desk so that after you check out your book, You'll be able to pick one bookmark out. Okay? I think he left this as a prize for us, okay? All right, so today you're gonna have some choices on what you get to do after you check out. And we're gonna decide who gets to check out based on who's been sitting quietest and who's been listening. So you got lots of choices today.
God.
After you check out your 2 books, you can make a leprechaun. You're gonna color it and cut it out, and you can glue his arms and legs on his body and on his head. You can make a lucky shamrock, like the ones that we have as our clues. And it says in each section, you're gonna write a wish. So since it's a 4-leaf clover, you're gonna write 4 wishes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wishes. We'll save it and you can write that on there. You can, we've got, so these choices are set up behind us. We also have out Lincoln Logs. We've got Chromebooks and the computers over there. Or you can read silently up here with the book pets, or back in magazines, or with the whisper phones. Okay? All right, so we got a few people that are missing books over here. Dawson. Is Dawson here today?
Yep.
Are you missing some books?
No, I bring them home the first day.